how to reprogram yourself or upgrade yourself to get to the next level. So just remember where you are now. To get to that next level, there's going to be some changes that you need to happen. If you were to go out tomorrow and say, I'm going to run 20 kilometers, you probably can't do it unless you've been training and practicing and preparing for that. So think of this like one of those type of events when you've got an event coming up and you need to train and you need to prepare to get to that next level. So what I would start with firstly is work out the parts that you need to improve on. Now, these are not weaknesses. These are things that you're just not as strong as you are in other parts. So for me, it was mathematics. So I found an app, and then I was working on mathematics and then percentages until I can keep working and focus on the points that aren't your strengths. Build up all the parts that aren't your strengths till they become your strengths. And that's just one part. And then basically, as you're working through the different tiers of goals that you've set, go through and the habits you need to do to attain them. So like I've always said before, get up early in the morning. Get that habit to get up early. If you're going for a walk a little bit harder or a little bit longer. Start doing everything that you're doing. Start putting in more effort. Put in more effort and keep pushing yourself. And when you think you've pushed yourself, push yourself that little bit harder as well. Make sure you're taking rest, but plan out. Remember too, back in the olden days, people used to walk 20 miles a day and fight with armor and battle each other. So we're in a society now where people have become really soft and they're taking weekends off and their public holidays, and then COVID, everyone had all this time off in COVID. Surely you've been rested enough to realize that you need to get in and have a crack. And then start looking at other people that are really successful in your group. Now, if there aren't people that are really successful in your group, find a group of people that really are successful. Like I've always said before, there's no point in being the king of the bums, because then you'll just be the king bum. Find really super successful people and copy what they're doing. When I used to race road bikes, funny enough, I was racing with a group of an A-grade cyclists. And when I went to start racing the other riders, I was kicking everybody's butt, even at 100 kilos, because I was training with an elite cyclist, a really fit guy, which obviously meant that I was going to become really fit, because if I didn't, I got left behind. And eventually at the start I got left behind a few times. We were shooting up big hills and I got dropped off the back. So I'd ride home, sometimes pretend I had a flat tire. But that activity and that habit of training with those really successful people made me realize, what if I started hanging around and finding people that are really successful? In order for me to become a billionaire, I have to work and find out what billionaires do. Do you understand? To get to the next level, you have to grow to that level. You can't do the same thing you're doing and expect a different result. Einstein says that doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is insanity, which is a fact. So find the group, find those people, the people that you aspire to be. Now, I'm not saying the social media people, that some of them are not really factual, the Instagrammers, some of them might be, but just make sure there's validity behind the people you're chasing. So if it's a real estate developer and he owns a group of properties, or Grant Cardone, or some of those guys like that, I mean, you look at that and go, okay, what's this guy doing? He's a machine. He's always working, he's pushing, he's closing, he's selling. If that's your niche or that's what you're trying to achieve, look for people that are successful in your field. I can't stress it enough. Once you do start hitting some targets, make sure you're setting some realistic targets, because one of the biggest problems that most people have is getting to your goal and realizing you didn't set it high enough. And my coach actually said to me, and he's been coaching people, he's almost in his 80s, he said the common thing that he's noticed with people is once you set a goal, that these people have set goals and they've achieved it and they think they didn't set it quite high enough. If you did set your goal, huge, 100 million, 200 million, or whatever it is, 1 million, 2 million, and you achieved it, maybe you should have set it higher. If you set that $1 million goal for 10 million and you missed and hit 7 million, boo-hoo, you're still overachieved, right? So set some huge, crazy goals, back it in with some goals that you need to achieve annually, and then break it down to daily habits you need to achieve. And don't compare yourself to everybody else. Compare yourself to who you are, because the only person you really need to be better than is yourself. I'll say that again, the only person you need to be better than is yourself. If you are improving year after year, you're doing a great job. If you are finding people who are really successful and you're looking at them and you're copying them and you are getting better, that's a win. That's an absolute win. One of the things you'll notice over time though, by doing the daily habits, replicating what other people are doing, and then improving yourself, you'll exponentially grow. I promise you, because it happened with me. I went from opening a gym and wanting to earn $200,000 a year, which I ended up achieving, to open my second gym, a couple of supplement stores. And then I was like, well, what's next? What's next? So then I started looking for coaches and people that I could aspire to. I started reading, which is very, very important. Find some good books and audio books, read them, highlight them, and execute them. If you're just reading and watching audiobooks for the sake of doing it, you're just passing time. If you're doing it and actually executing on what you're looking at, that's a winning habit. So that's my winning habits.